Thank you very much, sir. Sir, the pleasure is mine at this late hour to make my contribution to this debate, the very important debate on His Excellency's address to the National Assembly. Sir, unlike my honorable friend, I do not share the view that the President should come to the Parliament, to the National Assembly, unless there is a momentous occasion. And that has been the tradition in the world. A president's speech to a parliament, to a National Assembly, is a sacrosanct exercise, sir. And that is why in England, you set aside days to discuss the Queen's address. If I may briefly read, Your Honor, from Erskine May's Treatise on the Law, Privileges, Proceedings and Usage of the Parliament, 12th edition. It says this: at the opening of a session, by practice of both houses, there is a Queen's speech, is moved on the first day, and it generally takes precedence over any other business. And then the debate on the address falls into two parts. So elaborate it is. First, the first part is used for a review of the government's policy, especially in relation to the contents of the Queen's speech. And the second consists of a series of amendments, generally regretting omissions from the Queen's speech, which are usually moved by leaders of the opposition and occasionally backbenchers. In recent sessions, the House has devoted 5 or 6 days to debate the address. 5 or 6 days. That by itself, sir, should tell you that the President's speech is not a regular occurrence in the parliamentary business. Of course, our Constitution says that the President can come at any time. But obviously, that must be read in context. And that is why when the President comes to the Parliament, one expects a heavy speech, a speech that is in depth, in content, and very policy-oriented. And sir, when I look at this speech, I say with the greatest of respect that this does not meet the standard or the template of what is expected. It doesn't meet the template or the standard. Sir, for example, in terms of policy, this speech is vacuous. It is vacuous. Let us look at economic policy. There's a heading, economic policy. And this is what the President is telling the country of his government's economic policy. Your government entered a depressing financial landscape in 2015. He outlines a landscape that they entered into. Economic mismanagement was accompanied by huge debts. And then he speaks about Gaisuku in debts. He speaks about rice farmers and problems with the Petro-Caribe. Then he speaks about inheriting judgments. He speaks about obligation to bail out NIS. And then public service benefited from some increase in threshold in taxes. And workers' disposable income increased significantly. That is his economic policy. What kind of policy is that? Is that the economic policy? You want the whole parliament to debate? This must be vacuous. My understanding of an economic policy is how it is we will proceed along a path to achieve certain defined objectives economically. Quantitative and qualitatively. Yeah. That is how you outline an economic policy. So what is this? This is a recitation of the President's interpretation of a state of affairs which existed in the country, not even now, but at some previous occasion. That is what this is. That is what this is. Nothing futuristic. 90% of this document is what the president understands or perceived to have existed before. So, Mr. Speaker, I say that this speech does not meet the threshold. And even in his recitation, the president sets out a set of facts, and if the president of the republic is going to share with his National Assembly what he understood took place in the country, and one has to accept that the president is being bona fide and truthful, one would expect that the president would list the major things that have happened in the country. What you have here is a litany of negatives. A litany of negatives. The president recites about killing fields, about the dark days, about the problems. All you have is a list of problems. But Mr. Speaker, the president did not say that new highways were built from New Amsterdam to Crabwood Creek, the east coast of Demerara, and from Georgetown to Timeri. The president did not say that new streets and roadways were built right across the length and breadth of this country. The president did not say that health centers and hospitals were built in every region in this country. The president did not say that new schools... The president did not say that new schools were built in every region in this country. The president did not say that a new campus of the University of Guyana was built in Berbice. The president did not say that over the last 10 years alone, over 50,000 house lots were allocated, and these communities were equipped with electricity, road, water. The president did not say that there were constructions of secondary schools for the first time in the history of Guyana in certain hinterland locations. The president did not say that we had new investors taking over the bauxite company at both Linden and Kakwani. The president did not say that there were call centers that were built in Linden. The president did not say that over 1,000 small loggers were given forestry concessions in Linden. The president did not say that a new bridge was built across the Berbice River. The president did not say that we have constructed a new world-class stadium at Providence. The president did not say that we built a world-class convention center at Turkine. The president did not say that we built an Olympic-sized swimming pool at Turkine. The president did not say that we built a new modern track and field facility at Leonora. The president did not say that we built a 5-star hotel, the Marriott at Kingston. The president did not say that we brought in 2 modern roll-off ferry to transport people across the Essequibo River and further afield. The president did not say that we built a bridge across the Takutu River. The president did not say that we transformed Latem into a center of commerce and industry. The president did not say that we added the Caribbean Court of Appeal as Guyana's final court. The president did not say that we addressed and resolved our border issues with Suriname. The president did not say that tens of thousands of poor people benefited from the one laptop family. And my list is not exhaustive. But the president did not say all these things, or none of these things, when he recited, when he attempted to recite what transpired in this country. So when the president comes here, sir, the president has to be objective. If the president wants to win the respect and he wants us to work together, then he must credit us with the accomplishment that we achieved in this country. He must not come here and insult us.
Remember to say that the president has come to insult this house. We'll withdraw that statement.
No, we could interpret
Mr. Speaker, it has to be withdrawn. It has to be
You
withdrawn.
can't
Mr.
tell
Speaker.
us how we can
It has to be
interpret it.
withdrawn.
The president
You
said they
have
were
to.
killing
The president
people.
came here in good faith. He came here in good faith. For you to say that he came here and
That's
insulted the
your-
House,
that's
Mr. Speaker, it has to be withdrawn. It got to be withdrawn. You have to.
I thank the honourable member for his intervention. Mr. Nandlall.
Thank you, sir. Sir,
Mr. Nandlall, what is your response to
well,
the statement you made about the reference you made?
what I said, sir, is that the president,
Honourable member, I know what you said. The House all heard you. The honourable member, Mr. Trotman, is saying
if
that
I
statement.
honestly feel that the president in his address
the
insulted
honourable
us-
member, Mr. Trotman, is calling that you should withdraw the statement.
Unless Your Honor
Wait.
unless Your Honor orders me to do so, sir, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Well, I order you to do so.
You order me to do so. Thank you very much. I do so.
Honourable member, Mr. Nandlall, we will not do this tonight. You will withdraw the statement by a statement that you have done so. That is how you must do it.
Yeah, now
I have
we
withdrawn the
have to.
statement.
Mr.
Yes, of course. Now we must be told what we can interpret and cannot interpret.
Ms. Nandlall,
Prepare your life.
please proceed.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
President come here and did
Sir,
a
let us look at the legislative
mediocre
agenda.
speech.
The president says this: the justice administration system will be fortified by the promulgation of three important pieces of legislation: the Witness Protection Bill, the Protected Disclosures Bill, the Whistleblowers Bill, and the Deeds and Commercial Registries Authority Amendment Bill. Sir, the Witness Protection Bill is a bill that has been there under our government, drafted and left to the Attorney General chambers. The Whistleblowers Bill is a bill drafted and left to the Attorney General chambers. And the third bill, the Deeds and Commercial Registry Authority Bill, the draft of this bill seeks to give the minister power over the governing board. That is what the bill, this is what will fortify the judicial system of this country. This is what the president is saying will fortify the judicial system. What will fortify the judicial system, sir, is for the appointment of judges. Since the departure of Chief Justice Chan, the Honorable Madam Justice Yonette Cummings Edwards was appointed Chief Justice Acting, and as a result came down to the High Court, leaving the Court of Appeal a three-person court with two judges. Every time the Court of Appeal has to sit, they have to take a judge from the High Court, and that throws the High Court into chaos. A recommendation has been made by the Judicial Service Commission to His Excellency the President several months ago for judges to be appointed, and the names submitted to them. That will fortify the judicial system if those appointments are made. These cosmetic changes, sir, will have no impact on the judicial system. Sir, and then I come to the statement of the President that we will have good governance. The President here commits to good governance in his speech. Well, sir, we have had over the last 17 months, an incessant battle between the executive and constitutional agencies in this country. An incessant battle. The doctrine of separation of powers, upon which our Constitution is constructed, says very clearly that these organs are to operate separately and that the executive in particular must not interfere with constitutional agencies whose responsibility it is to oversight the executive. What we have seen in recent times over the last 17 months is a series of interventions and inappropriate influences by the executive with these agencies. I'm going to name them. So you have the Attorney General interfering with the Judicial Service Commission's exercise of its constitutional power to appoint the Deputy Registrar of Deeds. Then you have, sir, the Honorable Minister of Finance launching a tirade.
Is in the point of order, Attorney General? Yes. Would you give way?
The honorable member.
Would you tell us the
Yes, please.
standing
Two
order?
things. For the, Mr. Speaker, standing order 48.
Please proceed.
Yes, please. The point of order is that the honorable member is misrepresenting this honorable court and imputing improper motive to the Attorney General. Secondly, the matter is referring to a sub judice. As he said, I asked him to withdraw it.
I'm not.
Always getting into trouble, Anil.
I thank the honourable member for his statement. If the matter is sub judice, honourable member, you know you should not.
I am not prejudicing the outcome. I am making
Honourable member,
reference.
honourable member, I will remind you that this exchange took place before the recess.
Yes.
The speaker, if it's in the opinion of the speaker that that is so, then you do not
It was
maintain
published.
the position. That is what we have in the standing orders, and that is what I will enforce. Now,
It is published in the newspapers.
you will withdraw that statement.
What statement, sir?
The reference to the Attorney General interfering with the appointment of the Deputy Registrar of Deeds.
But that's a statement of fact.
Honourable member, I order you to withdraw this
As you
statement.
order, sir, you are in control. I am going to withdraw it because you ordered me to withdraw it.
Proceed, ma'am.
Sir, you have the chairman of the Public Service Commission, who also is a member of the Police Service Commission and a member of the Judicial Service Commission, being invited to the office of the President
Honourable
and being
member,
requested to resign.
honourable member, take a seat.
Don't
Point
worry,
of
you
order.
leave it. We can just play it on the instant.
Again,
Bottom of them and we'll-
Again, the honorable member, sir, is purporting to refer to a matter that is sub judice. And that is and the same member was writing in a newspaper that is a contempt of court to talk anything about this case.
And you know the right thing.
And it's the breach of the standing order. Our standing orders say you cannot refer to a matter that is sub judice.
I thank the Honourable Minister for his statement. Honourable Mr. Nandlall, the same situation arises again.
Again, I maintain that those are statements of fact. The fact that a court matter
Honourable
is
member,
filed
I order you
can't
to
prohibit me from speaking. on
Honourable
this
member, I
matter.
order you to withdraw the matter.
Yes.
As you
Back
order,
back
sir,
in.
I withdraw it.
Because you're in.
I withdraw it.
Yes.
As you order, sir. Then you have, sir, the unfortunate exchange between the Honourable Minister of Finance and the Auditor General.
I thought you were just singing for yourself.
And all the Auditor General is guilty of is commenting, though critically, on the Minister of Finance use of the contingency fund, as the Auditor General is entitled to do. And as I pointed out here, in my humble view, the Minister of Finance was violating the Constitution. And
Close.
the Minister of Finance,
Honourable
On
member,
this action.
honourable member is on his feet.
So Speaker, under Section 40A, the honourable member is imputing things to me which he knows nothing about. He has neither quoted a source or any such thing for the tirade and the ramblings that he has. If he can quote the source,
So,
if he
we
can
are-
quote, he's
you-
imputing proper motive to an honourable member of this house.
Well, you know, the press. No, no.
thank you.
40A.
Let the press fact
40A.
check. Fact check.
Honourable member,
The press should fact check this. Did he say that?
honourable member,
Nothing is not 40E.
honourable member,
It's part of order.
Minister of Finance.
You don't know.
You rose on the point of order. Improper motives are being imputed
Yes,
to you.
sir. He is
In
making...
that what?
Yes, sir. With regards to the statements he's making, he's
Who
not
is he?
quoting any, an honourable member is
Who is he?
quoting. He's neither
Who is
quoting
he?
any source
Who is he?
or any source. He has not quoted a single source
Who is he?
of the imputations that he's making. That is what I'm saying.
Who is he?
And if he quotes a source, I will then rebut it.
Oh my.
If he quotes a source, I will then have an opportunity to rebut it.
Honourable member.
So let the press fact check.
I read in 3 newspapers, the Stabrook, the Kaicho News, and the Times, an unfortunate exchange, what I described to be unfortunate. I don't remember the date.
How many speakers are there in this house?
Honourable members,
Let the
it would
press
not
fact check.
affect
Just say that. The press
the
should fact
veracity
check
of
whether
a
he said
statement
that.
because he doesn't know the date. The question is whether the statement can be relied on in the context of the sources from which he quotes.
Wasn't there an exchange where the minister was heavily critical of the Auditor General? Let him deny that. The press is running.
No.
The source are 3 national newspapers, and the Marara Waves, and Citizen Report, and iNews. All of those are sources.
Please proceed.
Thank you very much, sir.
This will go down in the Hansard. And I'm saying what the honourable member
Sir, have you not
has
ruled?
imputed to me.
I thought you ruled,
He
sir.
does not have
Honourable
a
member.
source. And I'm saying if he quotes a source, I will be able to rebut the exact source he quotes. But this will go down the Hansard. He is imputing improper motives to me.
What improper motive am I imputing?
He's widely saying newspapers, but he does not have a
Ralph
source.
Ramkaran write an article about it
Well,
only
then quote
Sunday.
the source. Quote Mr. Ramkaran. Quote
Ralph
Mr.
Ramkaran
Ramkaran.
wrote an article
Well,
about
then
it.
quote Mr. Ramkaran.
October
Quote
18,
Mr. Ramkaran.
2016, the Guyana Chronicle. Go down. Just go
Quote
down.
Mr. Ramkaran.
Sir, look, I have it here. I have a series of sources.
Well, then quote the sources that I
Jordan
said.
Flay's Auditor General, Guyana Chronicle. Auditor General trashes Finance Minister criticism. Jordan refutes Auditor General finding the government Stabrook News. Jordan takes a swipe. Jordan swipe again. They are swiping and swiping. So these are all sources.
But I'm not the author of those headlines, sir. And that in any case, even the headlines that he has, just
Honourable
quoted.
member, if another member raises on a point of order, you give way.
Yeah, but you just can't rise all the time. I'm speaking. My speech.
Mr. Speaker,
You just rising.
Mr. Speaker, this is exactly the reason why I wanted him to quote the source. Because there are 2 things there. 1, I'm not the writer of those headlines. And 2, even the headlines
said
that he
you are the
has,
writer of those
even the headlines that he has, an honourable member has just, even the headlines that the honourable member has just
Reels against
disclosed indicates, on the one hand,
I can't touch it.
the general said so, on the other hand, I said so. So he cannot conclude that I flay the Attorney General on the context of contingency fund. He cannot. There's a lot of
I thank the
hearsay.
honourable member. I think the explanation fully satisfies the requirements here. Mr. Nandlall,
Thank you.
please continue.
And that type of tension, the type of tension, sir, that exists where constitutional office holders that ought to treat each other with a certain degree of comity are swiping and swiping at each other, that is not good for our democracy.
Stop
So
swiping.
when
Stop swiping.
the Honorable Mr. Trotman says that the President's government is committed to good governance, a part of that is to accept scrutiny from the organizations and the constitutional agencies established to scrutinize.
And to criticize.
Established to scrutinize. So one doesn't have to describe the Chancellor of the Judiciary as a dictator.
Who did that?
A dictator, the Chancellor is described as. And as the head of the
Who
Judiciary.
swiped him?
Who did that?
Who swiped
I know, I
him?
will bring the Kaichor news, sir, where the Chancellor is described as a dictator of the judiciary. That's the kind of unhealthy relationship that does not conduce to the good government and good governance that the President spoke about. This President also spoke about transparent government. Transparent government. And the worst contract ever executed in this country, the worst contract, the worst example of lack of transparency perhaps that we have had in living memory in this country is the rental of the drug bond in our boys' town. $14.5 million per month rent.
No tendering.
No tendering, and they had an alternative proposal that offered them a world-class facility, air-conditioned bond for
This is ridiculous.
Sir, am I going to get back the time? Those who made the decision to rent the bond had at the time at their disposal an offer from a world-class facility certified by PAHO and WHO, and the proposed rental was $100 and something per square foot. $137 per square foot. They rented a two-story house in Alboystown for $3,024 per square foot. $3,024 per square foot. And I don't think up to now that there are any drugs being used in the facility. And then, worse yet, it was reviewed by Cabinet.
By the Prime Minister.
Reviewed by the Prime Minister, by Minister Harman,
He led a team.
and by Minister Trotman. And they never rescinded the contract. So all this thing about transparency and so on, it was suspended. And the contract today still subsists. And it continues to bleed the people of this country. So how is it, Mr. Speaker, when the President commits his government to transparency, how is it we must take that commitment seriously when that contract is still extant? And I have identified 4 grounds.
Is it unlawful?
4 grounds. Yes, it is unlawful. It is unlawful because it is in violation of the Procurement Act.
Which section?
No one would have.
It is in violation of the entire Procurement Act.
You defend
Half
that
of the
publicly.
problem that we have is because of the legal advice that comes to the government. The law says very clearly, any contract above a certain value must be subject of the Procurement Act. Must. The mandatory obligation. And if they don't know that, well then, it is in violation of the law. Oh Lord. Jeez. This is like
Why are you making
a
mistakes
concrete
like
wall. The
that?
bursting
You're making mistakes like that.
is a coconut bursting a coconut I saw on Facebook. And then, sir, the president spoke about inheriting judgments and blames the PPP. Sir, the state will always attract liabilities. I was only Attorney General for 2 years in this country, sir. These cases have been in the system for 20 years, but their time is coming. Their time is coming. There is one case filed already, Ansa Makal and the Boston Company. We will see how he will defend it. And it is more. It's going to be 4 times more than Odisha. We will see.
Right here.
But sir, the statements are inaccurate. They never inherited,
You just pay
this
me.
government
You don't even
never
try to defend
inherited
it.
a judgment from Emil Elias.
You don't even defend
The judgment was granted while this government was in power. That is the first thing. Secondly, the Honorable Opposition Leader explained the background, and I have done it a million times, why and how the Rhodesia judgment was granted and who's responsible. And then BK project, no judgment was ever granted to BK under this government.
In fact, an action wasn't even filed.
The Hawks-Bosch matter, no judgment was ever granted. BK, apparently we learned through a mistake, an error, I believe, from the Honorable Minister of Communities, that BK sent, obviously a staged thing, a threatening letter, and he got 5.7 billion. Not under this government, under that government. The most expensive, the most potent legal letter ever written. $5.7 billion. 1.7 billion, sorry.
I remember,
Take your
Yes,
seat
yes.
now.
I remember someone's on
Sit
the,
down.
a member's on his feet. You rise on the point of order, Attorney
Yes,
General?
Mr. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Standing order 40 again. The honorable member. The honorable member, Mr. Speaker, is misrepresenting again the facts of the matter
What did you not pay?
in this honorable house. First of all, he said no judgment was ever granted against the last government. That is wholly inaccurate and erroneous.
I never said so, sir.
Oh my gosh.
I never said so.
That's what
I
you said.
identified which judgment was granted under us and which was not granted under us. That's what I did.
In the Hawks-Bosch matter,
That's why y'all get
the honorable member just said that no judgment was ever granted against the last government, and some threatening letter was written to our government. In both instances, they are erroneous statements, and I'm asking them to withdraw them.
No, you didn't hear the whole thing. You seemed to have
There was a judgment.
I thank the Honourable Minister.
We inherit a
Honorable
judgment
Mr.
against
Nandlall.
them from BK.
There was no judgment ordering the payment of some of 1 point, how much billion? 1.7 billion. No judgment. And the information about the threatening letter being sent, I got that from the Honorable Minister. That was reported in the newspaper.
at the supplementary financial paper in August.
And I think he told the House that
He
too.
told the House.
Yes, when
Honourable
he
Mr.
gave us
Nandlall,
supplementary.
you will need to give way one more time. Honourable Minister.
Swipe and
You
swipe
rise on
and
the point
swipe.
of order, Minister.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. On Standing Order 40A, the honourable member is attributing a statement to me that is wholly, totally erroneous. And I'm asking if he can withdraw that statement, sir. The one is attributing some statement made by me in relation to some settlement with BK, where I purportedly
He
I
said
seek
a
some
letter.
clarification, please, Your Honour.
He's seeking clarification.
what exactly the honorable member is saying.
What?
But he's attributing some statement to me that is
I will
vague,
bring the newspaper
but is
article and show
erroneous.
you.
Let his Prime
Oh,
Minister.
yeah, all you are playing stupid now?
Mr. Speaker, in relation to the very settlement that the honorable member is speaking about, all of the questions that were posed in this House in relation to that very issue were answered by me.
You refuse to
And the
answer
records are there
them.
to show.
You refuse to answer them when we asked you.
I did not refuse to answer any
Yes, you
question.
did. You only said payee. And you couldn't say who the payee was.
Honorable Mr. Nandlall,
Yes,
You
sir.
refused.
the Honorable Minister
Check the verbatim record.
is challenging what you said.
I am relying on, I can produce
You must-
newspaper.
You must substantiate what you're saying.
Yes, that the minister disclosed publicly that the monies were paid through a threatening letter sent. And I repeat that a million times. I'm not going to withdraw that.
August 8th sitting.
He said that.
That was reported in the newspapers. I have the newspapers too.
I remember.
Because I wrote several articles on it. Not once was it refuted.
Anil, Colin is saying it was said in this house.
Honorable member,
I'm not sure whether it was said in this house. I know it was said. No, I never said it was said in this house. Sir, I said I read it in the newspaper. I can't recall where it was said, but it was reported in the newspaper. The honorable member never denounced it, and I repeated that over 10 times in the newspapers, and no rebuttal came from him. The honorable member.
Honorable member,
Let the press fact check him. If he said it,
Honourable
because
Member,
apparently he
Mr.
said it
Nandlall.
right in this house, it's in the hands of.
I'm not sure.
Mr. Nandlall,
Yes, sir.
unless you can substantiate that now, I must ask you to withdraw it
Was it he said?
and let us move on.
No, we are not going to, sir, with the greatest of respect.
I did not
sir,
hear you.
Sir, I want 1 hour to substantiate it. I'm asking for it.
Honorable member, you know what you ask.
I
cannot
am
be-
going home, sir, to bring the newspapers.
Honorable member,
I am
Then-
asking your
then-
honor's leave to go home to bring the newspapers.
Honorable member, when you come to the house, you must come prepared to whatever you are going to.
I am prepared, sir. Sir, I don't have my ID card. My name is Mohabir Anil Nandlall. If you're to ask me to substantiate that and I don't have my ID card, what do you want me to do? I don't expect to be
Remember-
I don't
Remember-
expect, sir, to be asked to prove things that are established.
Factual public.
Mr. Nandlall, you will withdraw it or take your seat.
Well, I'll take my seat, sir. I'm not going to withdraw it.
I
am not withdrawing it.
Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should walk out on Moses.
Honorable member,
I am not withdrawing any statement.
No.
No, I'm not withdrawing any statement.
It's not a fair.
He said it. He said it in the house.
You tell me for
And he
little
said it in
boy?
the newspaper. Y'all gotta stop this. The minister said it.
Disrespect who?
But let the press.
Honorable member, Honorable member, Mr. Nandlall, you are out of order. You are out of order. And for the rest of the evening, you will take no further part in this
I
house.
don't intend to, sir.
Then you will leave.
Yes, sir, I plan to. I'm packing.
All of us.
We cross-examine him on the experience.
Honourable members, if you are leaving, as you choose to do, then you will leave quietly. You run the risk of being held in contempt. I remember, Mr. Ali, you are leaving, then you leave without disturbing the House. I remember, Mr. Siraj, I see you have your back turned to the Speaker. Is that significant? Then, if you are leaving, then do so. The Prime Minister knows that that is not a practice that should be allowed here. Yes, Mr. Shearer.
On record, we were not supposed, or we did not anticipate discussing this motion tonight. You're very aware of that. And therefore, sir, we had to be speaking with very little preparation. And therefore, a number of things we've had to refer to, we have not been able to walk with the documents as you would have liked. So I just want to go on record that when a motion is thrown at us with no proper notice, this is what happens, sir.
Honourable Member Mr. Shearer, I heard your comment.
Yes, thank you.
But there is... Now, either I'm speaking with you and you were paying attention to me.
Yes, I'm just trying to find the notice you wanted.
I'm
listening, sir. I'm listening, sir. Do you wish me to stand up?
I wish you to give me your attention.
I am, sir. I'm trying to find the date you asked for evidence, and this has just come now. So I was trying to...
I'll remember the matters of no consequence.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Then I won't look at it. I'm paying attention.
The matters of no consequence. The person asking the question is not here. I do not see him here. So it is of no consequence, whatever you want to provide now. I thank you.